Are you a bass head? Do you enjoy deep, rumbly, and punchy low end in your IEMs? If your answer is yes, let me introduce you to the Noble Audio Spartacus. This is the latest IEM from the house of Noble Audio, and believe me when I say this IEM is a category disruptor. Hi guys, this is Karan here, and in today's video we'll talk in detail about the all new Noble Audio Spartacus. Now for those of you who don't know about Noble Audio as a brand, I quickly want to talk about them. So Noble Audio was founded by John Moulton, who's also known as the Wizard and also designs a lot of the IEMs. He's basically been credited with the IEM industry being at the place where it is today. Now, their IEMs like the Kublai Khan, Sultan, Viking Ragnar, and even the Ronin have found a way in the collections of some of the most serious audiophiles out there. They are basically regarded as one of the best when it comes to premium IEMs. So now with that out of the way, let's talk about the Spartacus and how it sounds, what you get in the box, and how are the comfort levels. So let's get started. Alright, so let's start the video by talking about the unboxing experience and what you get in the box. Now before we begin, I just want to quickly mention that we did not receive a retail package of this IEM. What we did receive is this Pelican case, and it basically housed everything that I'm going to talk about. So what we got in this package was the IEMs themselves, the cables, which I'm going to talk about in detail in a while. We've got multiple sets of ear tips, some dual flange and 2 sets of silicone ear tips. We've also got a cleaning tool brush, and we've also got a small pouch to carry the IEMs in. Now, overall, the inclusions in this package is fairly well thought out, and I think it lets you start off right out of the box. Now, as for the cable that's included, it's a high quality 8-core copper cable, and the best part about this is it's a modular cable, and it comes with the 2.5 mm, 3.5 mm and the 4.4 mm balanced termination in the box. I think this is a great addition, and I think a lot of people are gonna love this cable for what it is. Now, having said this, I know this is not going to be the retail package. The retail package is fairly large with a big Pelican box and everything that I just mentioned housed in it. Now, that was it for the unboxing experience. I think for me, the experience was quite minimal, and everything included I feel is just about right. So having done this, let's move on to the build quality and the comfort aspect of this IEM. Now, as for the shells, they're made of resin material and they feel really nice and well built. Now, the faceplates on these IEMs are very unique. It's got that translucent faceplate design, and it features these organic fiber-like material that are showcased on the faceplate. I think it gives the IEM a one-of-a-kind look, and I personally really like this, especially the color on these. Now, as for the fit, so let me just start off by telling that this IEM uses a little bit of a unique design that I've seen from any other Noble Audio IEM. The spout on this is a little bit on the shorter side, but the shells are on the larger side. So people with smaller ears will have a little bit of a difficulty, trying to get the right fit. So something to keep in mind. Now, as far as the comfort or the wearing experience goes, I think it fit me really well. I mean, there was a little bit of a hot spot, but nothing that was creating discomfort. But overall, if I were to say, if you get a good fit and good seal, these are one of the most comfortable IEMs that you can get for yourselves. So that was it for the build quality and the comfort part. Let's talk about sound, which is the most important aspect of these IEMs. Alright, so before I begin talking about each of the frequency regions in detail, I quickly want to talk about the sound in general. So the overall sound on the Spartacus is really fun and engaging, and the sound signature is what I'd like to call a V-shaped sound signature. Now, having said that, don't think that this IEM lacks on any front. It's got the ability to present punchy bass, clean mid-range and really sparkly highs, and it also has the capabilities to deliver details and clarity like no other IEM. Trust me when I say this IEM is a beast on all fronts. and the tuning or the overall way that it presents sound is something that only Noble Audio could have achieved. So now, having said that, let's talk about each of the frequency regions in detail and how the presentation is out there. Now, before talking about the bass, I think I quickly want to talk about the driver configuration and the impedance of these IEMs. So the driver configuration on this is a 6 driver setup with all of them being Sonian drivers. Now the division is that it features 4 balanced armature drivers and 2 bone conduction drivers. Now I know this is a unique combination, but it just works for the Spartacus. Now as far as the impedance goes, this is rated at 35 ohms, which I think is a fairly good number. You'll be able to plug this into multiple sources and you should not have any problems. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's talk about bass and how this IEM presents the low end. Alright, so let's start off with the bass presentation on the Spartacus. And let me tell you something, the Spartacus presents thunderous lows with thick bass slam and a lot of detail and texture. Honestly, I really wasn't sure about the driver combination that this IEM has, especially in the low end. It's got that one bone conduction driver and the balanced armature drivers working together, and I really did not think that this would work well. But what it does present is a best of the both worlds kind of an experience, where the bone conduction driver presents that extension and that physicality, and the balanced armature driver is able to present that clarity and speed. Now with this combination, what you get is a fast, clean and deep low end response. Now to test the low end on these IEMs, the track that I used is called Glowed Up by Ketronada, and this particular track has a really low hitting bass note that sits in the sub bass region, and this IEM was able to present that rumble in the sub region quite beautifully. Moving on, let's talk about the mid-range presentation on these IEMs. Now the Spartacus presents the mid-range with a lot of clarity and just a little bit of coloration. Now this coloration is mainly in the lower mid-range region, and it's mainly because of that mid-bass bleed. Now don't get me wrong, it's not muddy, it does not sound unclear, rather it's got this color and character and weight to it, and because of that male vocals sound a little more authoritative. It was an absolute dream-like experience to listen to certain male vocals on this, and that is the same case with upper mid-range. Female vocals are absolutely presented with the right amount of clarity and the right amount of resolution. Now this is mainly because this IEM has a very gentle pinna gain, and because of that it really does not sound shouty at all. Overall, I'd say the mid-range is done right out here. Now to test the mid-range on this IEM, the track that I selected is called Breathing Underwater by Hiatus Coyote, and on this particular track, Naipam's vocals are presented with a lot of resolution, and even the textures of her voice are clearly presented. Now there are some synths also that sit in the mid-range. They're also presented with a lot of detail. Overall, I'd say this is an IEM that has a very engaging mid-range presentation. Finally, let's talk about the top end presentation on the Spartacus. Now the best way that I can describe the top end presentation is a mix of airy and sparkly. I mean, it's got the right amount of presence, it's got the right amount of details, and it kind of renders everything quite faithfully. Now in my listening experience, I noticed something that not a lot of IEMs are capable of. So when you're listening to cymbals and hi-hats, and especially a lot of transient heavy elements in the top end, this particular IEM is able to present even the note edges quite accurately, and I absolutely loved listening and experiencing this on the Spartacus. Now to test out the top end on the Spartacus, the track I used is called Bubbles by Yossi Horikawa, and just like a lot of his tracks, there are a lot of layers in the top end of this particular track, and the Spartacus was able to present everything quite accurately and faithfully. So having discussed how the Spartacus sounds, let's talk a little bit about the technical capabilities of this IEM. Now before I get into the details and specifics of this particular segment, let me just tell you that the Spartacus is an absolute technical monster. I mean, it does everything that you'd want a top of the line IEM to do and some more. Now the soundstage on the Spartacus is what I would describe as holographic, three-dimensional with a strong center channel. Now, there is this thing that this IEM tends to do, and I absolutely love it. So if you're listening to a particular track, and if there are any main lead elements like the vocals or certain melodic instruments, it kind of puts a spotlight on them and it arranges rest of the instruments in that holographic space quite well. It's an absolute delight to listen to certain tracks on this, especially the well recorded ones, and I think the soundstage on this is exactly how they describe it and worthy of a top of the line IEM. Now, talking about the detail retrieval and the resolution on these IEMs, I think this is no slouch. The details and the resolution on these IEMs are absolutely spot on, that a lot of lesser IEMs will not be able to present. Now, talking about the dynamics, this IEM is very dynamic. It's able to present all the nuances in the low end and the top end quite well. In fact, there are certain tracks in which you will have volume variations, and if you've set this to a particular volume level on your DAC, you will not need to move the volume quite a bit, and I think this is a sign of a great IEM. So overall, if you ask me, on all fronts in terms of technicality, this IEM gets a 5-star, and I think it's an absolute technical monster like I mentioned earlier. Alright, so having discussed all the aspects of this IEM, I think Noble Audio has got a winner on their hands. This is an engaging, fun sounding IEM that is going to appeal to a lot of seasoned audiophiles and even newer audiophiles that are joining the hobby. This is going to appeal to fans of V-shaped sound signature and even bass heads. I mean, in short, this IEM offers something for everyone, no matter what your preferences are. Now, having said that, there is one gripe that I have with this particular IEM, and that is the cable pairing. Now, for those of you all who don't know, this is the same cable that Noble Audio provides with the Stage 3, which is a affordable offering in their lineup. And I think at the asking price, they could have included a much premium or a much better cable, just like they did with the Viking Ragnar and the Ronin. I mean, they've come with a Pentacon and a Eletec cable. So why does the Spartacus get this treatment? I mean, that's something that maybe Noble Audio can work on, and that's my only gripe, but that's me nitpicking. Now, even after saying this is an IEM that I would easily recommend to someone who's looking for a top of the line IEM to add to their collection. And if you ask my personal opinion, I absolutely love this IEM. It's got that right agility, it's got that fun factor, it's got the right level of technical details. I mean, it just is a fun listen overall. Now, after having said all of this is not going to make any sense to you if you've not heard these IEMs for yourself. And if you'd like to do this, I invite you here to our experience studio in Mumbai. And if you're not from Mumbai, you can catch us at a Headphone Connect event or a community event that we host at a city near you. So that was it for today. I'll see you in the next one.